Today is the day. I'm kind of saying that every day right now, but we are creeping closer to the Bears and Texans in week 2. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on a Thursday where I get to hang out with my good buddy Herb Howard. Me and Herb got you. We got Hoge out at Halas Hall. We got Shane Waldron speaking. We pulled some cuts from you. And, we're going to take a strong look at the Texans and also just a strong look at how the Bears have gone about their offense 1 week into the season and how perhaps this might change in week 2. Shout out to our friends at Joe's on Weed Street. Let's get that remind you in here. Week 3, Bears going for their 3rd win on the season or their 2nd, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be a ton of fun. We are going to be at Joe's on Weed Street. We want you to come. We're hanging out all day. It's $10 to get in if you just want to hang out. It's $65 for those of you who want to do it right and do the all-you-can-drink package with the Miller Lite, with the White Claw, with the mimosas, with the Bloody Marys, with the craft beers, with the import beers, with the ciders, with the seltzers, with the crystals. Let's get it going. 11:30.
That's a win.
It's a big-time win.
That's a win.
I mean, come on. Crystal's already fully committed. 11:30 in the morning till the end of the game. You got to be 21 over to hang out, but come on out to Joe's on Wheat Street. Lawrence, you coming?
Oh, you're going to recognize that I'm here too?
Lawrence Benedetto
Law is in the building.
Back from the Blackhawks pod is with us today, helping out. Appreciate you.
Your show starts at 11 on that Sunday.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I don't know about this 11:30 thing. I mean,
that's a good point.
You want people to show up for your show, wouldn't you?
We'll work on getting the bar open a half hour early for pregame. But
is it not open?
I don't know. It's written on there 11:30. So maybe it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, don't worry about the details. Come to Joe's on Weed. Get there whenever you want on Sunday. If the bar ain't open, I'll buy you a beer. That's how that'll start, and then we'll go from there. All right, Herb.
What up?
I want to give you a nerd. For my nerd football people out there, the people that really know the game out there.
Like to get nerdy on the football side.
And you've coached this game. You know this game on a level that few people know it. It's one of the many reasons that I love about you. More so, it's your charming demeanor and your overall perspective on life. But all right, I'll leave his name out of here. But texted with one of my Bears people who played the game, knows the game, wore the orange and blue.
Absolutely.
Did not like in week 1 that the Bears went with a ton of 11 personnel. Mm-hmm. 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Wants 2 tight ends. Mm-hmm. Wants the Bears to run the ball. You've got Cole Kmet, you've got Gerald Everett. Cole Kmet playing less than half the snaps. Nobody liked that. Yeah. But he wants to see more 12 personnel, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and then a back. What do you think about that?
I get why he wants that. You want to kind of be able to establish the run, get Caleb in a rhythm, get the entire offense in a rhythm. I thought that was the reason that you brought Gerald Everett over here, to pair him with Cole Kmet. There wasn't a whole lot of that. And when they did go 11 personnel, a lot of times they went with Gerald Everett and not Cole Kmet, which is even more strange, right? For Cole Kmet to only get 27 snaps and Everett to get 34, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Cole Kmet is a tight end that can do anything you want your tight end to do. He can run block, he can pass block, he can run routes, he can catch the ball, he can do all those things. So him not being on the field is strange, but definitely trying to get him into 2 tight end sets where you get to go 12 personnel. It allows you to get in the run game, allows you to set up your boots, your play action. They went empty a lot too. They went empty, I think, 9 times. First NFL game.
9 times.
Ed Rooney.
9 times.
Ed Rooney.
Yeah, first game ever. You go empty 9 times on this kid, and you're already having struggles kind of protecting it up. I know some of that was just to throw out these little bubble screens, but empty 9 times is not a recipe for success for a rookie.
So I don't want to pile on the offensive coordinator. We did that show yesterday.
Sure.
But how's that possible?
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And the only thing I can say as a little bit of a saving grace for Shane Waldron is the Bears just didn't have the ball a lot. They didn't have the ball a lot. They didn't run that many plays. And Now, I say that's a saving grace, but that's also partly your fault, too. You couldn't get in the rhythm. You guys weren't getting first downs. Now, I say that it's a saving grace because I like to think that he wants to set things up, right? He's setting up things so he can get to this, so he can get to that. And they never had the opportunity to get to the thing that he was trying to get to because they just couldn't sustain any drives. And so I'm sure he has some other things in his bag that he wanted to pull out, didn't quite get to them, but part of that is his fault.
All right, I think logically as we have this conversation, let's hear from Shane a little bit. He spoke today, and Shane's was well respected coming in here. Some, obviously there were those Jackson Smith and
there was I was going to say
which we played yesterday. We don't need to relive that.
That was not a ringing endorsement.
So I just thought it was interesting actually how he started his press conference today because he gets up there before there was any question, and this dude knew that the spotlight was on him. So this is just so you all, if you missed the press conference, this is how Shane started it today.
All right, everyone ready? All right, Sunday Night Football, here we go. I'll turn it over to you guys. I'm sure there's plenty of questions, and I'll do my best to answer them all.
I know there's going to be questions. I'll answer them all. But
also, Sunday Night Football, let's go. You're trying to get on. We're on to the Texans. No, hold up. We back to the Titans. What were you doing, sir?
Yeah, well, which is exactly where it went, although Patrick Finley started it out asking a question, but hey, when you watched that C.J. Stroud guy, did you think he was sweet? And, of course, Shane was like, yeah, he was really good. I like all young quarterbacks in the league. There's going to be a whole lot of C.J. and
shout out to Pat Finley.
Yeah, but so this is where it gets interesting.
Somebody told me that he doesn't like him.
Somebody told you that Shane doesn't like Pat, or Pat doesn't like Shane?
Doesn't like CJ.
Oh, really?
Ooh,
yeah.
Juicy.
Ooh, now we're into it. Caleb doesn't like CJ, huh?
Can't quote the source on that at all, but
can't wait to see the post-game handshake.
So you got good sources, and it was interesting yesterday when Caleb was asked about CJ and how he can be like CJ.
Ooh.
And he dodged right around that one. It was more like, well, I was looking at all the quarterbacks around the league in week one, and there were a lot of quarterbacks who have been doing this for 10 to 15 years that didn't play great in week one, including his hero Aaron Rodgers, who, played okay. Carm, turn your sound off on your computer. So he didn't that lines up with what you just said.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a whole lot to say on the CJ Stroud topic, but it's something you can't avoid considering the season that CJ had last year, the expectations on Caleb this year. It's going to come up over and over again leading up into Sunday, and then all through the game it's going to come up, and it'll certainly come up after the game no matter how the outcome is. And so that's just something he's going to have to deal with. But
do you think that's an unfair bar?
Yes and no. I would say it's unfair in the fact that most rookie quarterbacks don't have the season that CJ had last year, right? So that's just not the standard. That's not the expectation, right? But in terms of the hype around Caleb Williams and the prospect that he is and the generational and the Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I mean, that was one of the very first things I asked him was about the expectations, and that's when he went all, I ain't ducking the smoke, and it's cool, it's here now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer my own question. I think it's unfair. Yo, go out there and throw for 4,100 yards, make the playoffs, win a playoff game, so you can be on the level of basically a historic rookie season.
Yeah, but wasn't that the talk all winter, all spring? Wasn't that the conversation that the Bears now have this generational quarterback and we're going to finally throw for 4,000 yards in the season? And wasn't that the conversation?
There was part of that conversation. I think that, brilliant people like, the CHGO Bears Podcast are like, let's chill. That's not what we do around here. We don't throw for 4,000 yards, let alone set rookie records.
Yeah, it's just a really, really high bar to put on any rookie quarterback. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a phenomenal player in this league, but to think that he was going to be that week one of his rookie season is just not fair. I know he walked into a better situation than most rookie quarterbacks walked into. He walked into a better situation than C.J. Stroud walked into. So that all that leads to the expectations that we see, but I still think it's hey, get a kid a second, man. Let him catch his breath in here first.
Right. And let's give Shane a second too, because we're all a part of this. So he was asked about his his personnel groupings.
Man.
Hey, because as we started the show, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, weird snap counts. Why did that perhaps not go the way that you wanted it to, Shane?
Yeah, I think just in terms of the flow of the game, I think, starting with me, stuff we can do a better job of coaching is getting us into a better rhythm. And I think when you get into some of those games where we were in a little bit of a up and down rhythm throughout the course of the game, some of the personnel pairings that we were looking to get to didn't really play out the way we were hoping to as far as the course of the game. And there's, it's going to be tough each week, obviously, to have a perfect distribution of everyone's reps right there, but something we looked at and talked about as a staff of how we can do a better job to help our guys and getting that rotation and getting the guys out there together a little bit more often.
So he owned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the flow of the game just didn't really allow for, like, play callers, just like you talk about players getting into a rhythm, play callers need to get into a rhythm, right? They have this idea and they script the first 15, but you still want to get into this rhythm of play calling. Okay, I got toss to the left here. I'm going to come back to, fake toss left, 29 toss boot. I'm going to get back to things that I want to do. And they just didn't allow themselves to get into the rhythm, mostly because of their own inability to sustain drives, but also because of the flow of the game. I know the Bears won the game because they blocked the punt and returned it to the crib. I know they won the game because they got a pick 6 and took it to the crib. But that's 2 possessions the offense doesn't have. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also, as far as just looking at sort of big picture on those two, it is unlikely as you go forward. I'm stating the obvious here, but it's unlikely that you're going to get a punt block picked up, scoop and score. It's unlikely that you're going to get a quarterback coming out of the pocket, falling down, his face is about to hit the turf. He's just going to flip one up in the air and hand you a touchdown.
You take it.
Yeah, go ahead, Tyreek. It's cool. We don't want to win this football game. No problem.
That was terrible. Yeah. And then I haven't seen any memes of this yet, but I have to imagine there are memes out there of him on his knees with his hands on his head, like, what did I just do?
Right.
I made one.
You did?
You got to check the CHGO Bears account from Sunday.
All right, cool.
There you go. There
My
you go.
bad, Law.
There you go, Law.
I should have known that already.
Yeah. So one more from Shane. Does this mean, Shane, as you find your rhythm and the Bears find their rhythm, that you guys are going to run the ball a little bit more, perhaps at the same time trying to keep that Texans offense off the field?
I think for us, we always want to have that balance of the run and the pass. I think, this past week, obviously, want to do a little bit better job of getting some more runs off and helping that and, eliminating the negative plays. I know, when you have sudden change situations or some things that occurred or, Dre has a really big kick return, we want to be able to get the runs going in those scenarios. And I think for us, that's just part of, the offense as a whole of what we want to be as a balanced system and starting with running the ball. And I think, Chris Morgan and the offensive line have done a good job, talking about a group that started out yesterday, bringing the right attitude, bringing the right effort. Those guys set the tone for practice like they will every day. And, excited to see what those guys go out and do this next week.
I heard the word balance, I think 3 times, 4 times, a lot of times. Balance.
Yeah.
So pressure off QB, keep ball on ground.
It's always the goal for any offense, any play caller. You want to be balanced. Unless you have, one of those elite quarterbacks, established elite quarterbacks that can throw the ball 45 times a game, you want to have balance. The Bears have the ability to run the football. Your offensive line is struggling going backwards. Please let them go forward. Let them fire out, try to move some guys. Get them on different flats. Get that outside zone going. I think DeAndre Swift is really, really good at staying on the track as long as he can, pressing it, and sticking his foot in the ground and getting north. He's really, really good at it. Allow him to do it. Khalil Herbert also conspicuously on the sideline, like all game long. All that dude does is produce when you give him the football.
Yeah, and I'm curious, and I know a lot of Bears fans think that Bayless isn't going to be active this week. That's a home run threat. He puts fear into the defense. I know someone's probably out there scratching their head right now, but with that level of speed and that power, there's a threat there that nobody else has in that running back room. I wonder if they lean into it, despite the fumble on the kickoff and the kick of the ball.
Yeah,
that was rough.
Such a freaky thing, man. He's the worst person that it could possibly happen to because he's on his last legs. He barely made the roster, but
yeah,
you know.
Hey, Gritty. I see your $100 super chat from
Let's go,
Davenport, Iowa. Gritty, you're the man. We'll hit that.
Like for real.
Like for real. Thank you. Doug Dyer. Carm, shut up and read the super chat for a hundo. Settle down, Doug. I know what's going on over here, but thank you. And Gritty's not like that, Doug. Gritty's just
Gritty is part of the tape. Gritty is one of us.
Gritty is.
I forget how you just don't ever have the ad reads pulled up, and you just the toss to it is just so
no. I always do, Law. I just sometimes things just go a little bit awry.
How's he gonna segue? Let's see.
Let's see what he comes up with.
You need to remember that I am a pro. I've never done anything wrong in my entire life.
He's been doing this for 60 years.
There's
when he started, there were no computers though.
That's exactly right. And yes, Law, I do. As we're gonna have Adam Hoge coming up here.
There is a professional coming into the show
in a matter of moments. But I do want to let you know about our friends at Monster Jam. It's going to be unbelievable. September 20th to the 22nd. You want to be at the Allstate Arena. You want to be there, and you want to be living the dream with Monster Jam. It's the only place to see the most popular trucks and drivers roaring across the way. We've got the Big Air. We've got backflips. We got crazy skills. We got head-to-head battles. We got the 12,000-pound Monster Jam trucks pushing the limits. Herb, you're a big. Wow, you could get that done. I mean, come on. You got rookie MJ Solorio. People love him. He grabs the bull by the horns.
Let's go.
He gets it done. He's behind the wheel of the El Toro Loco. You don't even know El Toro Loco,
no.
but if you go to Monster Jam, you
will see that truck.
Yes, you're going to see that truck. You're going to see a whole lot of trucks. You're going to have a great time. It's going to be a sweet, sweet, sweet thing to be a part of, and we want you to go.
Have you ever seen one of those in person?
I have not. But
those trucks?
I'm debating it. So if you want to go
standing next to a elephant or something like that. Yeah, unbelievable.
Experience big time family fun at Monster Jam, the most unexpected, unscripted, and unforgettable motorsports experience for families and fans around the world today. Monster Jam. It's coming to Allstate Arena April 20th to the 22nd. And if you want to stay healthy, you want to feel good, do it with Factor. There's no better way to fuel up and be ready for your life than Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for fall, summer, winter, any season. Thanks to the menu of these chef-crafted meals with options like the Calorie Smart, the Protein Plus, Keto. They've got everything for you. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy the nutritious, great-tasting meals. This is what you do. You go to factormeals.com, put in that code CHGO Bears 50, CHGO Bears 50. You get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month. They keep the great deals going. That is CHGO Bears 50 at factormeals.com. CHGO Bears 50, get 50% off at your first box, plus 20% your next month when you subscribe. Right there for you, factormeals.com.
Now, I do think we actually forgot another thing. What day is it this week?
Is it Sunnyside? We never forget our friends at Sunnyside.
Yeah.
Sunnyside
Summer Thursday.
It is a Sunnyside Summer Thursday, and I was actually waiting to say that because when we go out to Halas Hall, it gets just so much sunnier with Hoge that we are coming at you live on this Sunnyside Summer Thursday. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast. Visit sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter that promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and over or Illinois medical card holders. Mr. Sunshine himself, ready to join us from Halas Hall. What's up, Adam Hoge? How are you?
Midway.
Look at him. Hold on. We're boxing him up.
Sorry, hold on. I just want to fix this box. Is way too skinny for Mr. Adam Hoge.
We need
more Hoge.
Hoge needs more of the screen than he's got right now.
There we go. And now
there we go. It's a little better.
There you are, Hoger.
Hi, buddy.
I'm getting too wide for the shot. What
no. It's just it was really.
Do I need to go to the gym?
It was really,
no.
It was way too tight.
You didn't
man.
have enough screen space.
I wanted more of you.
We wanted to see
Less of
every follicle of every hair that's on your
It looks
top.
good.
Yeah,
it looks good today. It's giving what it's supposed to give today.
It's giving.
That gray's coming in at a old man Carm level. The Hoger's coming along.
Yeah, it's called working with Carm every day. The grays are just
They definitely flow
like 5 a day.
Yeah, I noticed my hair is actually getting darker again.
Yeah,
because you haven't been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's messed up.
I believe it.
All right. Talk to us, Hoge. What did you take from Shane Waldron? Kind of calling himself out on the rhythm. It didn't go the way they wanted to. What were your main takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could say calling himself out. I call that accountability. I thought that was a good thing. He obviously knew those questions were coming today, and it's been a discussion point here at Halas Hall this week. Like, let's not dodge that. I mean, everybody is wondering, why they couldn't get in a rhythm and why certain players were playing over others. Why you didn't have your awesome wide receiver trio of Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze all on the field together more. Now, there were a couple of injuries in that game. So sometimes they were banged up, and I think that factored into it. But, to Shane Waldron's credit, he didn't blame that all on those circumstances. He acknowledged the fact that he needs to do a better job as a coach to get them in a better rhythm as the play caller. And then also when it comes to those personnel questions, he said, look, the personnel didn't really go the way that they were hoping to going in the game, but that's still on him to get that figured out. So I thought, we've covered many other press conferences at Halas Hall where that type of accountability wasn't necessarily being taken by the coaches who were speaking in front of that microphone. So, I thought he did his part, passed that test today. And then now we just have to wait and see Sunday night to see what exactly looks different. And it's not going to be easy, especially when it comes to the wide receivers, because, we don't know Rome Odunze's status. I did see him in the locker room today. He's not practicing, so he couldn't talk, but, a little bit of a limp there to his walk. And so we'll get out here in the practice field here in a little bit and have a better idea of what it all looks like. But also DJ Moore and Keenan Allen dealing with some things right now too.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Rome is out there this Sunday. I mean, if you got to get an MRI and he comes back with a sprain and to be back out there 7 days later in your rookie season, especially for a guy that you have such high hopes for, that seems a little bit rushed for me. So I doubt that he'll be out there. Hopefully Keenan can be out there because they do need to start to develop that chemistry, and they need as many weapons as they can get against the Houston Texans defense. I want to go back to Coach Waldron, though, for a second, Hoge. Like, the balance between, it's good that he takes the accountability, and I understand some of the reasons why they couldn't get to some of the personnel groupings and even some of the play calls. I know about the rhythms and trying to get things set up so you can come back to them later, but they didn't really have a lot of plays. I mentioned the two, the special teams touchdown, the defensive touchdown actually being the reason that they won the game, but also taking some drives away from the offense. So I get those things, but he's also a part of the reason why they weren't able to sustain those drives too, right? So it's like, on the one hand, it's a little saving grace you didn't have a lot of plays. On the other hand, it's kind of your fault you didn't have a lot of plays.
Yeah, 100%. But I think that once you start going down that road, you start understanding that it's 5 different things all at once, or one thing on one play, another thing on the next play, another thing on the next play. So one play, it's the center, the right guard getting walked back into the backfield, right? It's the right guard not helping the center, not chipping Tavon. And you're looking at a 19-yard sack. However, can the quarterback maybe throw that ball right into DeAndre Swift's feet? Ideally, but it's his first ever game. So that's when you start getting these discussions about, the blame game, who it all goes to. I think we come out of a game where when you only have 93 yards passing, it's a lot of different factors. And so it's great that you're doing this all off of a win, considering all that. But I think it's a big game this week, guys, because you can look at it glass half full or glass half empty. And if you're looking at glass half empty, you're going, wow, that's a lot of problems to have in your first game. If you're looking at it glass half full, you're saying, well, it's the first game. You have a lot of new pieces. You have a lot of new coaches. You have a rookie quarterback. And there's a lot of talented people here that all just need to do a little bit better job. And if they all do a little bit better job, it'll all start to come together. So I think that's really the 2 different ways of looking at it. And the only answer to which way it really is how they come out and play against the Houston Texans on Sunday night in a huge spotlight blaring on them on national television.
Well, to overstate the obvious, everything will look better if the offensive line starts blocking better. You talked to Chris Morgan today, Hoge, who, of course, the Bears O-line coach. What did he have to say about the performance and any major takeaways from that conversation?
Yeah, so anytime we talk to Chris Morgan, he does a really – Herb, you know this. He does a really good job of, deflecting a little bit. But I don't know. You got to kind of get through what he's saying because he's never going to he likes to group everybody together is what I'm trying to say.
And he protects his guys a lot. Even when we all can see there was a struggle, he's going to protect his guys, although I get the sense that in that O-line room, he doesn't mind calling guys out, but publicly he's usually going to protect them.
It's the complete opposite of this show.
Yeah.
No, we're not protecting you. You said what, Hoge?
I still think, though, that like when you really dissect what he's saying, you can pull out little things. So I'll share those with you. And I'll kind of go from left to right, although I'll single out the tackles first because that was kind of grouped together. But obviously, those were the bright spots of the offensive line in week one, right? And, so they have he liked how those guys played. He's like, hey, look, that's just experience coming together. We expect that from Darnold right in year two. And now obviously they have a much tougher test this week because the focus from week one to week two, it goes from the interior of that Titans D-line to the outside of that Texans D-line because that's where the pressure is really going to come this week. So we'll see how that translates for Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, but it was a good start. Now we move over to Tevin Jenkins at left guard. He acknowledged that, Tevin Jenkins didn't play his best. And they expect him to play better. So, that was one thing Chris Morgan did admit when it comes to Coleman Shelton at center. He thought Coleman Shelton played pretty well except for, just a few snaps. And he brought up without it being asked the play where Coleman Shelton was bulldozed in the backfield by a Mike linebacker.
He got tripped by Tevin.
Yeah, and that's what he pointed out. He's like, hey, we got to work on our spacing as a unit because – and I specifically asked him, I'm like, hey, I don't know anything about offensive line spacing or how that's supposed to look. Like, was Tevin's foot basically in the wrong spot? Like, are you? And he's like, yeah, we're always working on spacing and things like that. But also, things are going to happen. There's a lot of chaos on the offensive line, and guys are going to get pushed left and right and into certain gaps and things like that. So, now, my personal opinion,
stone that linebacker anyway. Like
I
know he fell because Tevin tripped him, but he was not about to stone him at the line either. That wasn't happening.
And that's kind of where I'm at on that one too, where it was like, okay, take Tevin's foot out of there. He's still getting ice skated right back into the quarterback there, in my opinion, by a linebacker. Okay, so obviously the technique there, anchoring could have been better. And I still think that's one of the plays that Chris Morgan's talking about that Coleman Shelton needs to be a lot better. Obviously a lot of questions too about the right guard rotation. I asked him like the pros and cons of that type of situation, and he basically took it as, it depends who you're talking about that's rotating. And in his opinion, they have two good, decent right guards that are rotating. So it's not like a situation where, if you have two guys there, you have none.
Right.
I'm sure some people in the chat right now will disagree with that analysis from the O-line coach, but I'm just sitting here reporting what he said. He seems to like those two guys. They're both dealing with separate things. That was pointed out. Neither one, I think, is fully healthy. And so that's why they're trying to take the load off of each one, and they both feel like they're starting caliber guards. That's just a strategy. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
I hear it. Neither of them are ready to play a full game, so they're doing the best they can, piecing it together. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we are at the point, Hoge, where one of them is ready to play a full game, or both of them are. Who do you think starts?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I would have to side towards Ryan Bates because I think that there's definitely frustration inside the building with Nate Davis's availability, and they traded a draft pick for this guy in Ryan Bates, and so I think, and I honestly think if he had been full go week one, that's probably who we would have seen start the game.
Hoge, are you hanging for the next segment? Can you? or are you leaving us?
It depends. I mean, we can make decisions here on the fly. I'm technically supposed to go out to the practice field right now for the 10 minutes that it's open, but Nick is also going out there. So
Right.
if you would like to steal the vitamin D from my body and not let me get a couple rays of sunshine, I will stay here with you.
Just hang out for a second because I want to talk about whatever. And we must get to things on time here because I'm driving and people think that I can't function on time. And in fact, I can. What's also on time? You. What's also on time and looking good is our friends at Rhoback Activewear. I love when I got my Rhoback on. It's the best fit. It's the best feel. It's the quality gear that speaks for itself. Herb, we got to get you their performance polos. They perform better in the heat than any other polos. The moisture wicking so the polo doesn't stick to you.
You need those.
I mean, come on. And fall coming up. What better item to prepare for the season than adding one of their performance hoodies? Let's keep you warm. Let's keep you feeling good. They're the softest items. You gotta love a good soft. Nice soft
What the hell
hoodie.
does that mean?
You know exactly what it means. It's comfortable. It's the best looking. It's the best footing. It's the whole thing that you need. And it's very easy, by the way. And we're hooking you up because we always do. Use the code CHGO20. Go to rhoback.com, RHOBACK.com. 20% off polos, hoodies, shorts. Use that code CHGO20. Make sure to check them out, and they will have you ready for wherever you're hanging out in Chi or if you're going on the road. Rhoback's got you.
I cannot get enough hoodies for football season.
Right.
Like seriously.
You're traveling.
Hoodies in the fall. Like before it gets real cold, I can't get enough hoodies for real.
You pull off a good hoodie. I mean, there's a certain way that you wear it that nobody else does. There's also our friends at Game Time Tickets, Game Time Picks, I should say. Game Time Picks. They filter out the stuff that you don't need, and they're just giving you the incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks. They tell you exactly where to go, what to do. They give you the all-in pricing. They give you seat views. They give you the lowest price guarantee. Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. If you find a better seat or the same seat in the same section, they're going to give you that seat plus 110% of the difference. That is sweet. Game Time is the best, and you want to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and yet, of course, we're hooking you up here too. Use the code CHGO, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code is CHGO, $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Ooh. Let's go. All right, here's my question to both of you. As Adam Hoge joining us from Halas Hall on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Thank you for clicking in. Hit that like button. Be like Gritty. Do a super chat for $100 that we're going to talk about at length. But, all right. Does anybody want to see Tevin Jenkins back at right guard as we continue to do this flip and just pair him with Darnell Wright and leave him there? I know that they're in all likelihood not going to do that they're going to continue to leave Tevin at left guard. But that could be a force, man. Like, let's just say that they decide that they are going to pay Tevin and he's staying healthy. Wouldn't you love him right next to Darnell and let's go? Anybody?
Listen, it's something I thought about earlier. They didn't seem very interested in doing it, and so I just kind of let it go. And at this point, I don't like the musical chairs at the O-line. I don't like it. Get some guys in here, figure out who's going to be, and let's roll. Let the other guy be the interior swing guy or whatever. But like, once you get them settled, for me, just leave them alone.
I mean, I like the idea. The execution of it is a different deal because now you're starting to talk. I think what they did with Josh Sitton that one time, or Kyle Long that one time, where he practiced guard the whole summer and spring, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's week one. Let's throw you in at right tackle. Huh? So now, that being said, Tevin does have a track record at right guard, and this was one of the storylines we talked about when they signed Nate Davis, was how Nate Davis was exclusively a right guard guy, and that it probably meant a switch for Tevin. So
made a lot of concessions for that guy, man. They've made a lot of concessions for that guy.
And I don't hate the idea because, putting those two guys next to each other on the right side sounds really good. But, I would have rather have seen that done in the summer. And I don't have the snap counts in front of me this moment, but I seem to remember that Ryan Bates has somewhat equal time at both left guard and right guard. So,
That's
if you are going to put Ryan Bates in there over Nate Davis, then maybe it's time where you just say, hey, go to left guard, and then you put Tevin back at the right. And I feel like, maybe it takes a week or so to adjust, but it's an idea I would definitely not criticize if they did it.
Yeah, I'm pulling up Bates's snap counts here in a second as I struggle with learning how to use the internet, but I'll have that for us before the end of this segment. All right, let's just. What do you think is going to happen here at wide receiver, Hoge? Because I don't know, Herb. Because it doesn't sound like Keenan is. I mean, it sounds like something's going on with that heel more than just a vet rest day here. I don't. Who do you think is active on Sunday? Are we getting any feel for that? And by the way, I know Adam, you've got some stuff as well about the returner situation, which might factor into who's active at wide receiver on Sunday as well.
Yeah, real quick here. Ryan Bates, 214 snaps at left guard in 2021. He has 8. I'll just give you the career numbers. He's basically equal at left guard and center, right around 200 snaps. And then he has 881 at right guard. So he's definitely played a lot more right guard than left. However, he does have experience at both sides. So that just gives you that idea.
That's a whole victory.
For sure.
In terms of the wide receiver situation, I just to be fully transparent, would have a much better idea for you when practice ends today, because we do not have the injury report as we are doing this show right now. So I don't know if Keenan Allen's going to practice today. I don't know if Rome Odunze is. As I said in the last segment, though, I did see Rome walking to the locker room. Definitely had a little bit of a limp, but not horrible. It's not like he was struggling to walk. So you still got 3 days to game day right now. We'll see how that plays out. What was the last thing there, too?
The return game and how that might factor in. I know that Richard Hightower had something to say about Bayless Jones.
Yeah, so in terms of Bayless Jones, he obviously liked how DeAndre Carter returned, and he's totally comfortable with him doing punts and kicks if necessary, and there's really no reason why you can't if you're capable of doing both, especially if you're not, a starter elsewhere on the field. In terms of Bayless, he said, you feel for him as a person, but I'm also a coach, right? You can't let that get in the way of what the best decisions are for the team. So I think that the returner spot's kind of sorted itself out here. And we know DeAndre Carter will be back there for both punts and kicks right now. And I think the bigger question then becomes, if it's a battle between the offensive coaches who want to use Bayless for 5 snaps a game and apparently give him the ball every time he's on the field, they can certainly sit there and argue and say, well, him dropping a kick return has no impact on the offense, so we still need him. On the other hand, there's a guy in Roschon Johnson that was inactive this week that has been around and is a pretty proven player when it comes to special teams and pass blocking and things like that. I tend to think Bayless is the better explosive option if you can get the ball in his hand. That's always the problem. Yeah. But we're talking about a handful of snaps right now. I mean, literally like 4 offensive snaps. And that was another thing I thought was interesting. Travis Homer was in Seattle with Shane Waldron. And it just seemed like the guys that Shane Waldron knew well from Seattle certainly got the spotlight.
Snaps Sunday.
Yeah. So I think there's got to be some hey wait a minute discussions going on this week, and kind of bring this whole conversation full circle. All of that I think will impact who's active even on game day. If I had to guess right now, and this is just fully a guess, I would think if it's really down to Roschon or Bayless, I think Roschon will get the nod this week. But I don't know that that's even an either or right now because there are injuries to sort through as well. And obviously, if you're short 2 wide receivers, you might need Bayless just to be active to play wide receiver. Or maybe they're elevating one, a Samari Toure off the practice squad or something.
It was curious to me that they brought in the tryout guys at kick returner. And, just look. I get it if you're done with Velus. That's cool. I wouldn't necessarily hate seeing him back there again for another kick. I never want to see him touch a punt return. But DeAndre Carter played really, really well. Had a 20-something yard punt return, had a 66-yard kick return. I just thought it was curious why they were looking at guys in the kick return game. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would just say in general, a sort of a PSA on all tryouts. Like, they happen every week. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they happen and nobody's signed. It's doing your due diligence throughout the season as part of the scouting. It's really more of the scouting department's area where they have a plan. Some of them are planned well in advance. Some of them are last minute based on injuries that happen on Sunday. They bring guys in Monday. But a lot of times those are already scheduled like before the weekend. Okay. Who's coming in just to get a look at. So, pretty much anytime you lose a guy, whether it's due to injury or due to performance, in this case with Velus, who may have just lost his return job altogether, you're going to take a look at other guys around the league because you can, and so that's all. It's not that it doesn't mean anything, but it also, Carm's Wikipediaing whoever that wide receiver was that they tried out on Tuesday, and I'm like, dude, chill out. I don't think you need to waste time on that. You could spend more time looking up Ryan Bates' snap counts in Buffalo.
Listen, I do my due diligence on everything the Bears do because I'm that thorough of a CHGO Bears podcaster. Hoge.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Last one for you. I'm just gonna give you a former Bears player's opinion on the running back situation. I like Velus. Legitimate home run threat is how it's been put.
No doubt.
The Hoge smile is very well telling here, which we can get into another time. Travis Homer, good on special teams. No threat and doesn't scare anyone. No one's going to disagree with that here, I wouldn't think. Khalil Herbert, good runner, not good at pass blocking, and you're going to get your QB smoked. So I am pro. Does anyone think the Bears are winning the Super Bowl this year? No, they're not. Okay, make the playoffs, get a win. That'd be cool. Greg Boyson thinks they're winning the Super Bowl this year. That's an outstanding thought by Greg Boyson. I love his optimism. My point is this, though. Look, you got nothing to lose right now. Let's try to see if they actually have the home run threat in Velus, assuming that he can at least be capable in picking up a block, picking up the blitz. I am interested. Give me more Velus at running back. Let's see if they actually have something here. Devon A-Chain, something along those lines. Like maybe they have that type of player. He is that fast. I am that interested.
Listen, I still think he has a very unique skill set. I know Alex Brown disagrees with me. He's like, that ain't a unique skill set. Urlacher is a unique skill set. Julius Peppers is a unique skill set. I'm like, dude, you go straight to Canton on me for that? I think that you talk about a guy with his size and speed combination, the power that he has too. I think you can find a way to use him, but he does put you on the edge of the seat every time he touches the ball. And I was in the booth sitting next to Nick on Sunday, and that play, it was ultimately the play that Rome got dinged up on. He gets the ball, and Nick is just like, oh my God, hold the ball. I literally pat Nick on the back like, bro, y'all giving my man anxiety in here right now. Every time y'all get the ball to Velus. So it's real. Like, people have genuine concerns every time he touches the ball, but I think it's also real that if he gets a crease, he can hit his head on the goalpost.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm torn on this because I feel it with Velus. I mean, look, the bottom line is the Houston Texans are spending some time this week working on Velus as an offensive threat, whether he plays or not. Right. And that's one of the reasons why you don't cut him on Monday, by the way, because they got to prepare for him whether he's active or not. And anytime he comes in the game, they're going to be worried about him.
Alert.
Yeah. So that's a real thing. On the other hand, you have running backs on this team that we know can run the ball. And I think you got to get them going first. You got to get this running game going first with just kind of your for sure things, not your gimmicky things. Right. And I just, Khalil Herbert, to me, I understand the concerns in pass pro. I don't disagree with them, but he's a good running back when healthy. And right now, as far as I know, he's completely healthy. So you're just taking carries away from other guys, in my opinion. And I just don't understand what the rush is. He's on the roster. Teams are going to have to prepare for it anyway. And then but give those touches to somebody else. Like, give this guy more time to learn the running back position if you're going to keep him around. It doesn't have to be this week.
That's fair. I'm not going to push back on that. Let him show it in practice that he's got it. That's fine.
And it does matter. I mean, I know I agree with you that I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I think the team that they play on Sunday they're on the short list of teams that could go to the Super Bowl. But the Bears do need to win games this year, right? You do want to get 9, 10, 11 wins and get yourself in the playoff conversation. If you don't, you got to have some conversations about big picture around here. And so I think they definitely know that there's urgency in every single game, and he can lose you a game. He can win you a game, but he could lose you a game.
Yeah, no, he can, and he has. But he never will again. Right, Halas? You're my guy.
I like Halas a lot, man.
He's you're right, and no one cares. I get it in the chat about his likability, but he's just a very.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, he's an easy guy to root for. He's a first class Halas. All right, Hoge, we'll let you get out of here. We know you're at Halas. We appreciate all the time, so thank you. And yes, go ahead.
I just want Greg Boyson to know that I think the Blackhawks are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, and as you said, Carm, you gotta love a good soft.
Wow.
You do. Warm, soft cookie. Okay. Thank you.
That's all. I'm going to go now. Bye.
Okay. Appreciate you, Hoge. You the best, bro.
You gotta love a good, nice, comfortable. It's actually, I mean, come on.
That is going left. That is going left.
I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't a benefit to the other side. We got to have the yin and the yang.
Going left.
The yin and the yang is all there. All right.
I was at Costco today.
Yeah?
And
hot dog?
they've I was in the food section, and they now are selling warm chocolate chip cookies.
Really?
I bet those are soft.
I'd go for it. I can go for it.
Can we? All right, I'm going to switch the subjects away from soft to the incredibly talented Gritty, who's supported the show over and over and over again on our Super Chat world. And today, Gritty going into the big bills, $100. Usually hit you guys with $2 supers to badger with random stuff or photoshops, but I want to express how appreciative I am of all your guys' hard work creating this community, along with the content you all put out. From the guys on screen to behind the scenes, thank you. Gritty, A, you didn't have to do that. B, we triple appreciate you back.
Seriously.
It is
that's a dope super chat, because you talk about, like, you include everybody in there. You talk about the community that's being built around CHGO, and that is credit due to everybody. All the guys you see on the camera, all the guys you hear behind the camera, and all the guys that you never, ever, ever see in different departments, all largely responsible for that community being built. Appreciate you for recognizing and saluting that, Gritty.
Yeah, and, you know, for those who went the diehard way, the Discord Bears channel, I mean, that's like a whole podcast to itself going on in there every day. And I just pop in every day and
I gotta jump in there sometime.
It's a scene. I think we can nominate Gary as the mayor of that scene. Yeah. But there's a lot of people chiming in all the time. So that's a whole community there. So become a diehard, get yourself a free T-shirt. If you're enjoying the product and you want to support us, it's a great way to do it, and we greatly appreciate it. A couple other super chats from Gritty. Might as well just hit them out here.
Let's go.
$5. I know I say this every time, but this is the best duo right here, Herb and Cram. So,
boom.
Thank you, Gritty. I love hanging with Herb, and it's we appreciate that. Crystal.
Thanks, Crystal.
Law, I miss you. Nothing for you, Herb.
Yeah, I'm in the doghouse.
You were straight in the Crystal doghouse.
I'm in the doghouse.
Just didn't show up for the tailgate, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that's actually that's got nothing to do with you. It's just more love for Law.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I love Law. I give Law a big hug every time I see him.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice.
There's a good love between the two of you.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. I've never really known what that's like. So congratulations to both of you. Appreciation of your fellow man. That's a sweet thing. Motor Music Michael 1999. Oh yeah, Herb is here.
Let's go.
It's like the movie
Get Hard.
Get Hard.
With
That's
the Carman and Herb combo.
Isn't that the
I don't know. That's a little
There's
uncomfortable.
a lot of soft and hard
John
going
C.
on
Reilly,
here today.
Isn't that the John C. Reilly, the mockumentary that's sort of like
You're out over.
no, that's Walk Hard. Wait,
Yeah,
what is
it's over my skis.
Y'all in front of me on that one, but appreciate you, Mike, for real.
Yeah, motor music. Thank you, my friend. And $9.99 from Jeff. Late to the live show, so my apologies if this was already said, but Sunday night is another opportunity for Caleb, and this team needs to change standards. The past Bear teams get blown out in these spots.
Ooh,
Okay, so we haven't talked about that, and this is
we need to.
Yeah, so our friend Gregory P. Allen Braggs, who's getting his knee taken care of today, I hope that's going
Praise
smoothly.
up, Braggs.
He threw this out there, and I think it actually is going to feel like this, but on some level, if the Bears lose. But that Sunday night is house money. You're 1-0. You're on the road. You're the Texans were a playoff team last year. You don't necessarily need it. All those things.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's house money, but it ain't house money to just blow through, right? And then go out and get your ass kicked 38-6. Like it ain't that kind of house money. You know what I mean? Like y'all need to go out there and show yourselves well. I said earlier, I think that the Houston Texans are on the short list of teams that could go to the Super Bowl. I believe they're that good. So I don't expect the Bears to go to their crib, prime time, and come back with a W. I don't expect that. I'd love to see it. I don't expect that. But I do expect them to go out there and play well, to be competitive, to correct some of the mistakes that we saw on Sunday at home when they were able to pull out the win. You're going to have to play a lot better to stay in this game. And I expect them to stay in this game. And so they're going to have to play a lot better. I think you look at some of the small things that went wrong for them on Sunday, some of the missed opportunities that they had. You talk about Caleb having another opportunity to kind of change some of the things around here. Each game you're going to get 3-4 opportunities to make big plays down the field. And when those opportunities present themselves, you have to take advantage. You got to hit those. He didn't hit them on Sunday. He's got another opportunity to hit him then this coming Sunday night. And if he does, they'll be in this game and they'll give themselves a chance in the fourth quarter.
Caleb's over-under first week was 240.5.
Did he hit it?
He came up
Multiply by 3, and he did.
less over a third, but not over half. It's two. I was going to ask you to guess at it, but I'll
It's
just
212?
Yeah, 210, 211, 212, depending.
I haven't seen it. I assume that's where it would have been, though.
So it dropping 30 yards. Now you're also going up against a different defense on the road, all the things.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes? You think you will hit that?
He hits the 212.
You think so?
I think he hits 212.
It's an interesting bet.
It's a very interesting bet, and I'll go bet on it. I think he does hit the 212. If it's 212, if it's 211.5, I'll go over. I think he hits 212. Listen, again, it's those small opportunities that you hit him here, you hit him there, and it changes things. Not only for the particular play that you actually hit, but it also extends the drive. It gets you 3 more plays that can get you some more yards. So I think those things kind of add up over the course of the game. I think the kid plays much better. I think the O-line kind of settles down. I think Shane settles down. Coach Waldron, settles down. And it's just a better overall performance for the offense. I still don't think they come out of there with a dub, but I think the kid gets 212.
So if you had to bet your sex life for the next year on this, you tell me you're taking the over.
We're going soft. We're going hard. We're going like what? Come on, man.
You're taking the over on 210?
I would never bet that. I wouldn't bet that on anything. I wouldn't bet that on the sun coming up tomorrow.
No.
Okay. No
respect.
No
respect. Respect. All right, let me rephrase it. If you had to and your life was on the line, you told me you're taking the over on the 210?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the kid goes over 210.
Okay.
I bet my life, but not my sex life.
Okay, no, I got it. There are things in life that are more important than anything. I hear it. All right, I think Crystal weighed in on another one here. So she wants to clear the decks here. 1999. Hey, Carm, love to see you are here. Great job to keep up with the great work and keep up the great work. Oh, and hey, Herb. You are 100% of the doghouse.
Oh, and hey, Herb.
LOL. Keep up the great work and bear down.
Sheesh.
There you go. Yeah, see, she's holding on to it.
Sheesh.
Apparently, Greg Braggs just faked like he needed to be somewhere today because he's sending super chats.
You know, this idiot Braggs He has a show tonight at 7 o'clock, the Briggs and Brown Show. Go subscribe and all that good stuff. When did he decide to start texting me about, like, oh, I can't find this, I can't find it? Like, middle of the show. Like, bro.
Rude.
Like, do that at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do it, you know.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And
those two guys are good, too.
I tweeted the link for you, Carm. You're welcome.
Briggs and Brown are really good.
Yeah. Listen, you know, I talk about myself as the ultimate me guy, but this guy's paying $2 to let everybody know that he tweeted the link. I also tweeted it too, buddy, and retweeted it. You know, we got this, you know, we had this Shane Waldron press conference, and I was cutting it up right before the show. I understand that's an excuse, and I'm telling you how rocky the water is, and you just got to dock the boat in life. But that's, you know, I had a lot going on there, Gregory. Keel John, $5, appreciate you. Random, because I like little details like this. But isn't Tremaine supposed to have the gold C patch? Was a captain in Buffalo for years. Love you guys.
What's the gold C patch?
Oh, interesting.
I mean, is he saying that the C on his jersey for captain should be a gold because he's been a captain in Buffalo too? I'm not sure there, Keel. That's out over my skis. We got to.
I don't know.
That's a Gary Ross question, honestly.
I don't know. Is he a captain? Is he one of the captains?
One of the 8. One of the 8 captains.
Okay. I was thinking because I know TJ is and I know Jalen is. Okay, cool. That's a cool thing about this defense. I think they got a lot of good leaders on the defense, and they all lead in different ways. Did you see that mic'd up from Jalen Johnson?
I haven't watched it.
Watch it. It's really good. I literally had chills watching it. Like that dude is just different, man. Different. But a lot of good leaders on that defense.
So let me ask you this one, as I just throw out random questions at you as we get ready to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
But since Tremaine was brought up, right now, he had to lose one of the two.
I'm keeping TJ over almost any linebacker in the league. I take the kid out in San Francisco. I'd probably take Roquan. I don't know after that. TJ is.
So, and that, by the way, that's important because TJ is going to be a free agent.
And he's going to make some money.
He's going to make a lot more money.
And shout out to him for doing that. You talk about an undrafted rookie coming into the league out of Wisconsin, works his way onto the roster in Philadelphia, works his way into the starting lineup, then gets a 2-year deal from the Bears and plays all-pro level football. I know he wasn't all-pro last year. I don't know if he's going to be one this year or not. But the caliber of ball he plays is certainly worthy of that. That dude's going to make some money, and good for him. He's a really, really good football player.
El Sancho clearing it up. Your gold patch means you've been a captain for 5+ years.
I was just looking that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
But
we appreciate that.
Was Tremaine 4 years in Buffalo? That's the question.
So
looking that up.
Well, I think our guy might be teeing up something accurate here that the Bears are sleeping on. Keel John. So
maybe I really don't know.
I
don't know how long he was a captain in Buffalo.
Well, I'm gonna be at. I mean, I can look that up for one, but for two, I'm gonna be at Halas tomorrow, and I can ask Tremaine if the Bears are sleeping on him and that he should have the gold. We could do that.
Yeah. Also, Get Hard was a Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Carman, it might be Get Shorty. You know what I mean?
Okay. Get Softy.
I mean, that could be I don't know if you're talking about my height or something else. I mean, we haven't done that steam room thing now. I mean, you might not be wrong, but I'm not sure. I'm sure we need to do all that. Okay.
Oh man.
All right. I guess that we can wrap this bad boy up. Blackhawks podcast coming up at 30 minutes. Lot, think you're doing double duty here.
Thank you. I got you guys tomorrow too. I don't know if you're on the show.
Oh, I am on tomorrow. So we're doing the full preview show tomorrow. You got me. So we're going back to back.
Let's go.
Nick has got something special going on, so I'm going to pop on in there, and I'll just wrap up this way. For those who have who have paid for the right to watch prior games, I am watching the Texans and the Colts a good exercise because we get Indy in week 3. Of course, got the Texans Sunday night. I'm watching them, and I'm the Colts are good, but the Texans are terrifying.
No, that's real. I think, listen, you talk about not expecting them to win, and I think they're going to come back 1-1, but then that makes that Colts game huge, man. You go to Indy, and that's no gimme either. That's a good team, and Anthony Richardson has as much natural given talent as anybody in the league right now. That throw that he made Sunday,
nasty,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's like 66 yards in the air, kind of fading to his left, like on a dime. Like the receiver didn't break stride, didn't adjust, nothing. That was filth.
I don't think any other quarterback in the league can make that throw.
That's insane, dog.
I'm including Josh Allen. I'm including Patrick Mahomes. Maybe they can, but I
don't think Patrick Mahomes can make that throw. Josh Allen maybe could make that throw. That's insane.
I mean, he was falling down off his back foot.
Dude.
And back to the Texans, too. I don't know. The Colts put in new turf down there, so people were slipping and sliding all over that thing.
Yeah.
CJ, early in the game, slips on the turf right on the Colt helmet. He's on the ground on his knees, and he had the presence of mind on third down to zing it to, I forget which receiver for a first down. It's like, this guy is crafty, man.
They got weapons, man. They got weapons. Going to be a good challenge for the secondary, too. I love the Bears secondary. But, they get Diggs. They've already got Nico. They got Tank Dell. They've got my guy, John Mechie III from Alabama, back healthy. Shout out to him. That's a lot of weaponry. And they can run the ball. Mixon had like $130 or something like that on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, for the record, though, CJ only had 5 interceptions last year. Colts had their hands on the football. They could have gotten him. So let's go, Jalen.
Maybe a chance to get him. Let's
go, Kyler. Let's go, Tyreek.
I like Jalen's belt to asses celebration.
Yeah,
he takes his belt off and goes to spanking them. I like that.
We got. I guess we got one more $9.99 from Crystal coming here because she is our hero. You've been slacking on the likes. Hit the like button.
I just put a note in there because I usually Blackhawks and our Blackhawks fans are very good at hitting the like button. Like the percentages of people watching versus likes, way higher than the Bears crew has ever been. And I feel like Bears people can be better.
Little entitled. Bears fans.
It's
800 people watching right now on this Sunnyside Summer Thursday. Use code HICHGO for 50% off your first 3 orders.
Let's go, Lon.
800 people watching, 168 likes. The math does not work. Come on, people.
Are 700 of you just angrily staring at us?
Man, help us out.
It moves the podcast through the old YouTube, and it helps us gain traction, and it supports us, and it's free. And now we're in a competition because clearly the Blackhawks.
They hit
channel.
It's way better. This channel, this Bears podcast, the people slack so bad about
the horn,
hitting the like button.
Yeah. What do you call it?
I will never go at our people because we love you.
No, we're asking.
But I'm also not above begging. I'll beg.
Crystal, it's Herb's fault. Of course it is.
Wow, that's funny.
That's true.
All right, Herb and I are back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bears, Texans creeping closer. Blackhawks coming up at 2:30. Lawrence, thanks for producing.
Got you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.